Hi. It is February 7th, 2026, Saturday. One of the only 2 days a week that I get off from work, just like the majority of people. And I decided to spend my morning at the movie theater. Super excited. Gonna go see a movie, make YouTube videos, watch college basketball, Super Bowl tomorrow, hang out with friends. Great weekend, right? I saw The Strangers Chapter 3. I like the previous two installments, even though nobody else does. I watched those movies and I'm like, you know what? Those bad movies, but they sure are fun. I watched this movie. My entire weekend is ruined. Thanks a lot, Strangers Chapter 3. You absolutely sucked! Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad movie. It's bad. There's gonna be spoilers in this review. If you care, if you don't care, I don't think you should care, because there's like 3 people like the other two. I'm one of them, and I don't think there's gonna be a single person like this one, because it's by far the worst film in this entire franchise. Before I dive into my review, if you want, subscribe, the like button, hit the bell so you never miss another review. I think I might do a Strangers ranking. I don't know. I was planning on it. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. I'm going to keep it 100. But if you've seen the movie, I'm sorry. I hope everything went well for you. If you haven't seen the movie, don't. And if you want to see this movie, why? It's bad. Don't watch this movie. And with that said, I suppose we're going to call this a review. Do I have anything nice to say about the movie? I'd say the first 45 minutes are good. I think the first 45 minutes are good, which is kind of crazy to think, because it's like a big chunk of the movie. Kind of diving into the backstory of these characters. Do we really care? Not really, but it's entertaining enough. I like Madeline Petch. She has some good scenes in the beginning of the movie. It sets it up very well. I didn't really know the direction we were heading. And so I was like, you know what? This is actually quite compelling, and I think it's going to kind of rope around to being good. And then we got the last 45 minutes. And, no, it didn't. Madeline Petch doesn't have anything to do in this movie. There's like 2 scenes where she even talks. I'm not kidding. She doesn't talk really at all inside of this entire movie. That's a problem in of itself. But hey, at least she's pretty to look at. I'm very excited to see her in a much better horror franchise, because I think she is a very talented actress. Do I have anything else to say? I know it's kind of crazy to say the first 45 minutes are good, considering how much I did not like this movie, but they genuinely were. I was thinking back on it, I was like, you know what, was having a really good time with the movie, thinking, you know, it's kind of on the weaker side of this franchise, but it's good enough, and I'm compelled. And then we get the final 45 minutes, where the starting issue here is, it takes, like, the entire 45 minutes is essentially inside of a truck. You spend probably 30 minutes of this entire movie's runtime sitting in a truck with Madeline Petch and the Strangers. Just sitting there, writing, listening to, was it House of the Rising Sun? I think was the song they played. That's what we spend the time on the movie doing. So, we're going to start diving into spoilers now. If you want to watch this movie, click away, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch the movie if I were you. You can use your time doing something else. I certainly didn't. I wish I did. But anyways, we're going to dive into spoilers now. The first 45 minutes, we kind of set up after the events of Chapter 2, where our lead actress kills one of the strangers. She's on the run from the strangers. We have a pretty cool scene in a church where she's sitting there with the man stranger without the mask talking. It's pretty cool. I think the opening sequence, which just like shows them knocking on a hotel and murdering somebody, I think that was a pretty cool sequence. Had enough tension in there. There were a couple sequences with some really good surprises as well, and the flashbacks and the reveals are kind of satisfying in the first 45 minutes. But then we get to the point where stuff is starting to go down in our present timeline, and what we do is we break into someone's house to murder some people, and, like, you don't care because you're like, okay, they're gonna die, who cares? The entire plot of the back half of the movie is male stranger wanting Madeline Petch to be the female stranger she killed, and they're, like, rubbing the faces. Madeline Petch is just, like, doing nothing, just standing there and doing nothing. And, like, it's just him being like, you're going to be the stranger now, and they kidnap a bunch of people, and they look to kill him. It's not entertaining. There's no thrills. There's no tension. That sequence alone, I was like, okay. The movie hasn't lost me yet. I was like, okay, yeah, all right. And then we get to the sequence of the trailer park, where her sister comes to town with her boyfriend, and some tall black man, who I suppose is a bodyguard, a detective, something. I don't know who he is. He just comes with the sister and her fiance and just shows up, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go investigate. You guys stay here. So he goes investigate a sawmill that the strangers have, and he just gets shot. By the way, the cop is the dad of the male stranger, and so they're working together, which I was like, that's a cool reveal. The reveals of that are cool. But then the execution in the back half is not. So the guy goes, he has a gun, he's like, I'm going to go find the guys and go try to find Madeline Petch's character. I don't even remember her name. Like, I watched this movie I got home about an hour and a half ago, and I do not remember her name. I think I forgot it as soon as I stepped foot in my car. I don't remember her name. So we're just going to call her Madeline Petch. He's looking for her. The cop shows up. He's like, drop your weapons. And the guy's like, all right. He puts the weapons down and he is shot. He's dead. Okay, yeah. So you have your weapon pointed at the officer, and the officer has a weapon pointed at you. What's going to stop you from pulling the trigger? Pull the trigger and kill the guy. I was the only person in my theater. There was probably 150 seats in the theater. I was the only person sitting there. It's just me. I sat flat out in the middle of the theater. Like, chose the right middle row. And, like, it was fun because all I could do is I could just say, oh my god. And I flat out did say, what are we doing? I said the sentence, what the hell are we doing? Probably 100 times throughout the entire film. Because you get that original movie, or not the original, but chapter 1, and you're like, okay, yeah, characters are constantly making the bad decisions, but at least you have the tension. And here, the characters are making really bad decisions. The whole way the plot shakes out, Madeline Petch escapes from the strangers, she steals a cop car, and she just goes to the passenger seat, starts rifling through some stuff. I don't know what she's looking for. Nobody knows what she's looking for. All of a sudden, she looks up, there's a truck coming, and she's like, oh! Yep, for like the 100th time in this trilogy, she can't escape because she's doing some dumb shit. And the dumb shit is not looking at the road. Can you get out of the town before you start looking for stuff? Like 100 different ways for them to write that. Just write the church scene out. Church scene, the guy's just standing there, he's like, yeah, you can go. And she goes. Just have him not say that. Just have him capture her there. You don't need to write in some dumb shit for her to get captured again. It's incredibly stupid. The church scene was pretty interesting, but it's not relevant because nothing makes sense because he does that and he's like, well, now I'm going to kidnap you. Now I'm going to force you to do this. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But where were we in the back half of the movie? The dude gets killed by the cop. And Mr. Masked Stranger, oh, by the way, the other female stranger gets killed by Madeline Petch's character. You want to know why? Because she reaches over, grabs her hand with a machete. Like, the girl's just holding the machete right here. Like, here's my machete. And Madeline Petch reaches over, grabs it, and stabs her and kills her. And, like, that's, like, again, no tension. Like, okay, that just happened. So the only stranger alive is the masked one. He goes to this random RV that the sister and the fiance are in. Why are they waiting in the RV? Number one. The bodyguard detective person that they had with them told them to get in the RV. Why not just wait in the car? You know, where if trouble comes, you can drive the fuck away? No. Get in the RV. So obviously, Mr. Masked Stranger comes, he rams his truck to it, flips it over, walks in there, and kills them both, while Madeline Petch watches. And again, I love Madeline Petch. She does nothing. She just sits there, and there's one single tear runs down her cheek. She cries for her sister, who was just murdered in front of her. Just like that. All right. And then the stranger, for the second time in the movie, is like, all right, you can go. Yeah, Madeline Petch, I don't want you here no more. Whatever, you can go. So she's like, nah. She takes a shotgun that was in the passenger seat the whole time. The whole time, there was a loaded shotgun in the passenger seat of this truck. Apparently. The entire movie. So what's she do? She turns around, goes to the sawmill, takes the shotgun, kills the cop, and does a double pump. She has 3 bullets in that shotgun. She double pumps, wastes the other 2 bullets before she goes to the guy, to the masked stranger to shoot him. She can't shoot him. She's out of bullets. She didn't need to waste it. She uses 1 on the cop and then pumps it twice and wastes the bullets. And I audibly said to the theater, I genuinely said, I was like, what the fuck? Why? Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Apparently she did it on purpose. She goes there and she's to the masked stranger. She's like, I have nothing left. I love you now. So like apparently they're in a romance now. I love you now. Psych pulls out a knife, stabs him, kills him. All right, sure. Why not? And it's like there's no tension because you don't know what's going on. Why, to the beginner, why didn't she just, not double pump the shotgun and just show up and bang, he's dead. We're good. We're out of here. No, she had to do all that. Like, what the hell, man? That makes no sense. The script makes no sense. It feels like, and I've read several reviews on Letterboxd. I've watched a couple reviews from YouTubers I like. And I'm like, what they said is true. They could fit the entire trilogy into one movie, I'm pretty sure. You don't need that middle chapter. As much fun as I had with the second movie, even though it's a bad movie, I still had plenty of fun with it. I was like, you know what? Just erase all of that, have them escape the house, have the hospital scene, have the going with friends scene, and then you erase half the stuff in this movie that just makes no sense and kind of wastes time. Do the finale there, but execute it much well, and you have a pretty compelling Strangers movie that has plenty of issues, but it's compelling. Instead, you have 2 movies that build up to this, where you don't feel the weight of anything. There's absolutely no tension. There is a few on-screen kills. My issue with 2, the big one, is that there was no on-screen kills. Here there are a few decent on-screen kills. Nothing to write home about, but they are here. So let's be clear there. But there's nothing worth watching this movie. At the end, when they kill the strangers, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. The strangers are dead. All right. What was the point of this? The trilogy is a character deconstruction, but we never find out why the strangers are doing this. We just find out it's 3 random people that want to kill people, and the town allows it to outsiders. That's what we find out. We don't find out really who these random people are, really why they want to kill them, why they go to the houses. We don't ever find out who Tamara is. We don't find out any of the answers that, if we are asking these questions, we don't find any of the answers. The answers we find out are they're 3 random people and they kill the outsiders, which, if you watch the fucking movie, that's the first thing that you find out. Watch the movie. We don't need an entire trilogy character deconstruction for that. And so you watch this movie and you leave the theater and you're like, that was just a waste of time. I wasted an hour and a half of at least it was only an hour and a half. I'd say 45 minutes of the movie were compelling, but by the time we got to the end, I'm like, okay, that was useless. I never want to watch that again. And it kind of makes the other 2 movies bad. I know they're genuinely bad movies. If this was just one movie, it would be so much better. Because Chapter 3, supposed to have all the carnage candy, supposed to be this grand finale, and I felt none of that. And I left the theater pissed off. I left the theater pissed off because I didn't choose to see a different movie, because I was super excited to see, not super excited, but excited to go to the movie, start off my weekend with a bang, and I saw that movie, and I was just like, okay, I'm not going to be able to watch a movie tomorrow because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and this entire week I'm going to be incredibly busy, so like my movie watching is going to be limited with my other job, and now that this is the movie that for a couple days is going to be the last movie I'm able to see, that just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I watched The Rip yesterday, which is a movie I really enjoyed, and then I go from that straight to this pile of steaming dog shit. Alright, waste of time. Before I give you my final score of The Strangers Chapter 3, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you never miss another video. Maybe a Strangers ranking, maybe not. Who knows if I want to do it or not. It's up to me. You don't get to tell me what to do. And with that said, comment down below if you've seen the movie. You probably hated it. If you haven't seen the movie, don't. And if you want to watch the movie, why? And with that said, The Strangers Chapter 3 has a decent 45 minutes in there, But at the end of the day, it just it's a character deconstruction that we didn't need, that wasn't effective. It's filled with character stupid decisions, no tension, and the grand finale of things is just unbelievably stupid. Unbelievably stupid. And so The Strangers Chapter 3 is going to get a D-. There were some things I liked in there, but at the end of the day, I did not like this movie in the slightest. And for a trilogy that I think I'm one of the only 3 people that enjoyed, The Strangers Chapter 3 just shit the bed. And it's bad. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Stay tuned for more coming soon on the Zach D Films YouTube channel. Subscribe.